Hello, everyone. Today we are continuing our study of congruent triangles. Yesterday we talked about that there are two methods called side, 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 or SSS, and side, angle, side, where the angle has to be the included angle of the two sides. Today we're going to learn the next two methods. There are only 5, so today is angle, side, angle, and angle, angle, side. So angle side angle is if two angles and the included side of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding parts of the other triangle. The triangles are congruent. The included side is the side between the angles, if the sides were the rays of the angles would overlap. Angle angle side is if two angles and the non-included side of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding parts of the other triangle. The non-included side can be either of the two sides that are not between the two angles being used. However, it does need to be the side next to the same angle in both triangles. So, which triangles are congruent using angle, angle, side? So the triangles that are congruent using angle, angle, side are triangle AMN is congruent to triangle A goes with R, because those two angles are congruent. M goes with H, because those two angles are congruent. And then E. And notice that AN is next to the same angle as RE, which is our side. What additional information would be needed to prove triangle MLB is congruent to OTH by angle side angle? So since it's angle side angle, we need the side to be the included side. So that means we would need to know that angle B is congruent to angle H. And notice that they're the same, they're the corresponding angles. Number 3, here we need to prove that these two triangles are congruent. So we're going to start by writing our statement, reason. And our first given is that PS bisects OT. So if PS bisects OT, what does that tell you? Well, if PS bisects OT, that tells me that OR is congruent to RT. And that's definition of bisect. It does not say that OT bisects PS. So I know nothing about the parts of PS. And let me just write this congruent to RT a little better. So I know OR is congruent to RT. Then I'm given that S is congruent to P. So if I'm looking at my triangles, I have a given side. I have a side congruent that's not given, but I got it from the givens, and an angle. So in order to prove these congruent, I need either another side or another angle to use one of my methods. Looking at this diagram, I see a pair of vertical angles. So that tells me that angle ORP is congruent to angle TRS. And that's vertical angles are congruent. And what I have is angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. So that means that triangle ROP is congruent to triangle RTS. And double check, we have R is congruent to R, and I'm saying O is congruent to T, which are our unlabeled angles. So that's correct by angle, angle, side. So I want you to pause and try this proof on your own and come back and compare it with my answer. Okay.